Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. My name is Will, and this is Will of the Nerds, and we are back with another deck tech video today. And I'm going to start by apologizing for not live streaming when I said I was. I ended up getting the flu. I am still very sick if you can't tell by my voice. So I'm recording this video the night before it's going to get uploaded. Usually I have it a week or two in advance. So I have a little bit of a library to upload from since I do work full time. But I'm going to apologize if I cough every now and then or if I have to stop to take a second so I don't cough. So the video might not be very long, but I do plan on live streaming the Yu-Gi-Oh! Opening Christmas Eve at around 8, and then Magic the Gathering opening on Christmas Day at probably the same time, 8 to 8:30, somewhere around there. I will tweet the time that I will once I know more, depending on what's going on, if my girlfriend's going to her mom's or if we're having a Christmas dinner and stuff like that. It might get pushed back. It might get moved up a little bit. I don't know. But with that out of the way, we are going to do my main Eldrazi deck, which I haven't done. This is probably the most expensive deck I have, in all honesty. It has won me many matches against my friends. Granted, like you know, if you've watched these videos, I do... we do multiplayer, so of course, like casual. This is against like 6 people. Well, not 6. Usually 4, sometimes 5, sometimes 3. So, you know, it's give or take, you know. But there's usually longer matches with my friends and I. So, I guess if you know anything about Eldrazi, waste is the main mana base for them. So I do have some basic wastes in here to put in. Granted, I eventually am probably going to rotate most of the wastes out for something else. My friend did get me a couple of the Urza's lands for Christmas. I know they're not very expensive. I do at least want to get 3 of each, so I need to get 2 more. This isn't the one we have, but we are going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 of them, so I guess, can we just... yeah. Do that. And... oh, no, not Commander. These are from... oh, I don't know. We'll find out once I click the symbol. Yeah, that'll work. I believe these wastes, full arts, are pretty expensive. I know. I just recently found out that I guess the regular version of wastes like this, there's one of them that's pretty expensive. I don't think it's extremely expensive. It like $5 or something like that. Which I didn't know. I think I have a couple of them somewhere, and I took them out because I prefer full arts. So, there's something for you. And obviously, since this is an Eldrazi deck, gotta have some Eldrazi Temples in it. These are pretty expensive the last I checked. They still probably are. We got 4 of them. And they're all from the dual deck, so I'm going to have to change that. Yeah, that. Which, honestly, I remember seeing one of these somewhere, like the dual decks somewhere, that weren't too expensive, and I should have bought it. Because it has some good Eldrazi cards in it. Oblivion Sewer, the Eldrazi Temples. I think it has 2 Eldrazi Temples, which is why I had 2 of them. I could be wrong. It could have been 1 each. but you never know. Okay, next we have Labyrinth of Scofos, which I have a playset of. Once I get other lands in here, that's probably going to change. I'll probably have 2 ofs. And I honestly, yeah, I can take wastes out to put in the Urza's lands. So that's 3. Yeah, I'm just trying to think while I'm doing this. But Labyrinth of... I didn't spell that right. Labri. Aha. I still didn't spell it right. How? Oh, L-A-B. Labby. Labyrinth. And then, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't even know what set that is. But let's go over this since I didn't go over it. Eldrazi Temple taps for 1 colorless, but it taps for 2, and I can spend this mana only to cast colorless Eldrazi spells or activate abilities of colorless Eldrazi. And they're all colorless Eldrazi in here. So that works, and there's also another Eldrazi deck that I want to make that I want to get another playset of these for. And I can't remember the card, but it's 10 mana, and it has an ability that's 20 mana, and if you can get that ability off, you can play any number of Eldrazi from outside the game. So the point is to have 15 Eldrazi in your sideboard to throw on the field, and if there's a way that I could give them haste, that would be nice. But even then, you throw a bunch of Eldrazi out without paying their mana cost. Basically, there's a lot of things that are going to happen, especially if you have other cards in there. Like, there's a couple cards in here that I might put in that deck, and I'll go over them more when we get to that. And then Labyrinth of Scofos it adds colorless mana. But if you pay 4 and tap it, you remove target attacking or blocking creature from combat, which is basically meant to protect you. It's to save face if you don't have anything out. So, if one of your Eldrazi's is destroyed and you don't have anything out and you're getting attacked, then if you have the mana, you can just go ahead and do that and remove the creature from combat and protect yourself for a little bit. And granted, if you have nothing else to play and there's 2 creatures attacking, you can just use 2 Labyrinth of Scofos if you got 8 mana available, and there you go. The chances are they're pretty tapped out with their big creatures trying to swing at you. Okay, and next we have we have 2 Seagate Wreckages? Seagate Wreckage? Yeah. Okay, so this is, again, adds colorless. 2 colorless and a waste. Tap, draw a card, activate ability only if you have no cards in hand. That second ability doesn't really happen very often. I think I've only done it once before, but it's nice to have that card draw just in case. Maybe somebody's making you discard cards, or, you know, something like that. Or you get far into game where you are just playing everything. But it's nice to have that card draw to keep on curve. Next is Eye of Ugin for a 2 of again, and that is the correct one. Where are you? There you are. Colorless Eldrazi spells cost 2 less to cast. I can only have 1 of them out because it is a legendary, but that also helps because, again, Eldrazi Temple is basically pseudo 2 mana if you're playing just a mono Eldrazi deck. So you're basically getting 2 mana, and everything else is 2 less. So right there, your 10 mana creature goes from 10 to 6 mana, basically. And if you have another Eldrazi Temple out, it's now 4 mana. So if you get lucky and you get 2 Eldrazi Temples out by turn 2, and then you get Eye of Ugin out, that's really going to help you a lot, especially A lot of people don't play land destruction either. What is also nice is the second ability on here. You could pay 7, tap, search your library for a colorless creature card, reveal it, and put it into your hand and shuffle your library. So if it's getting to that point in the game and you still don't have the card you want, well, just spend your mana and go look for it. And then next turn, drop it down. And next we have 24 lands already. I didn't know there was this many lands. I think there's probably a little more than 60 cards in here. I think there might be 62. I could be wrong. Next is Temple of the Spirit Dragon. Temple of... Nope. Where are you? Okay, let's keep going. I just didn't know there was that many temples of... Oh, no wonder. It's not temple, it's tomb. Tomb of the Spirit Dragon. I really need to learn to read cards. We've been over this before. Okay, Tomb of the Spirit Dragon here. Tap, add 1 colorless mana, 2 and tap, gain 1 life for each colorless creature you control. This has saved me a couple times when I've had like 1 or 2 life and I've had about 4 creatures out. I don't have anything else to do, and especially if you have nothing else to do and you have both of them out, you gain double the life basically. And it's just a nice little life gain for an Eldrazi deck that sometimes can take a little bit to go. If you can, like I said, if you get Eldrazi Temple out and Ugin out, your deck's going to roll extremely quickly. If it doesn't, it might take a while. But there's going to be, I think there's more lands in here than there is creatures. Which, no, that's not true. I think it's probably about half. I think the mana base is close to half of what's in here. And the last one we have is Cavern of Souls, which I think is the one I drew from the list. It is. So if you watched that opening, I can't remember what it was. It was a box opening of something, I believe. And I pulled a Cavern of Souls, and it immediately went into this deck. I think I have 2 of them. I might have 3, actually. I think I have 2 in my Angel deck and 1 in this deck. This one is from the list, and we're going to update that. And Cavern of Souls here. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type, which would be Eldrazi. Tap, add 1 mana of any color, and add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast creature spell of the chosen type, and it can't be countered. Emphasis on that second part. Especially if you get this early on and play it. Now, it doesn't matter if they're playing blue, they're not going to be able to counter your Eldrazi spells. So, that's why it's in here. They're already big and scary, and now you can't counter them. So, there's that. And now we can move on to... we'll do the artifacts, because I don't have a lot of artifacts in here. I think there's 2 different ones for 4 altogether. And let's go over them. There we go. There we go. All right. Yeah, so there's 4. There's 2 different ones. The first one is Stronic Resonator, which I didn't know was a card till one of my friends played it in their deck. Alright, so STR. I really don't know how to spell either. What's that say about the education system where I went to school? Alright, and they're both from M14, so let's edit that real quick. And take a look here. So, 2 colorless and tap. Copy target triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Once we get into the creatures, you'll understand why that's in here. So, obviously, there's some big Eldrazi in here, and I want their abilities to trigger twice. And if I have the mana to do it, I'm going to do it. Next is Harmonicon. I think I have this copy of it, and I want to put it in this deck. I just need to find where it is in my mass collection of cards. But this isn't the one I have. The one I have is from Kaladesh. Kaladesh? Whatever. If an artifact or creature entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Again, there's a lot of big Eldrazi's in here, and I want to take advantage of their abilities more than once. Harmonicon, I've only had it out a couple times and had it trigger. Harmonicon would actually probably be better, maybe just to have a playset of them. I don't think I've ever had Stronic Resonator go off, because people usually destroy it once they see what it does. So, and a triggered ability uses the words when, whenever, or as, or at. I think it's at. Yeah, so like at the beginning of combat, when this creature does that. And once we get into the big creatures, you'll see why. Next, we'll do the instance, which I only have 2 of the one, and I need to get... I do want to replace this with All Is Dust. I do have that in another one. I do need to... I want to replace this with All Is Dust, but this is Titan's Presence. We have, as an additional cost to cast, reveal a colorless creature card from your hand, which chances are you'll probably have one because the rest of the deck is creatures. Exile target creature if its power is less than or equal to the revealed card's power. It's nice. Chances are, especially if you have Ulamog in your hand, spoiler. But yeah, chances are it's going to exile damn near anything on the board unless it's getting towards late game and somebody's just throwing a fuck ton of counters on one creature. In which case there is other ways to get rid of it, and we'll see that when we get to it. So I guess we'll go straight into whatever is on top here, which is Artisan of Kozilek, and I believe there is 2 of, so let me go find. There it is. Okay, there is 2. So we are going to type that in, Artisan of Kozilek. Boop, boop, and they're from different ones, but we are just going to go with the one that's from the dual deck here. All right, whenever you cast Artisan of Kozilek, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's really nice. So if somebody does counter something before you have Cavern of Souls, or blows up one of your weaker ones that maybe you just need to help with the mana, or has an ability, which if you have Harmonicon out and you bring it back, it's going to trigger its ability again. This has Annihilator 2. When this creature attacks, defending player sacrifices 2 creatures, or 2 permanents. So you have Artisan of Kozilek whenever it attacks, which will trigger Stronic Resonator if you pay the mana. And when it comes out, if you have Harmonicon, that ability will trigger a second time. So you'll be able to get 2 creatures back, which is nice if that is the case. My freaking dog's back there biting each other on the bed, being annoying as usual. Every time I record, they were sleeping, and then I go to record, and they're like, oh, hey, Dad's doing something. Time to make noise. All right, next is Oblivion Sewer, which is probably my favorite card in all honesty. So I have 3 from that set. I guess the easiest thing to do here is just to go 1, update. Put it from the dual deck, and then 1, 2, 3 from that. Okay. So Oblivion Sewer. Whenever you cast Oblivion Sewer, target opponent exiles the top 4 cards of his or her library. Then you may put any number of land cards that player owns from exile onto the battlefield under your control. Again, that's why I love it. It's 6 mana. If you have anything else to lower the mana ability, you're getting it out by turn 3, turn 4. So, yeah. And you're getting more mana. Plus, again, if you have Harmonicon out, if you do it a little later, it's going to enter, it's going to trigger. If you have Stronic Resonator, You can do it. It's going to trigger. So, you can possibly get 3 triggers off of it. I think the most I've gotten off of it was 2. So I've had them exile 8 cards, and I think I've gotten 4 lands out of it before. That is nice. I love that card. It basically mills your deck, puts those cards into exile, and I get your lands. And there's a playset of them. So that's 16 cards at least from your deck if I play all of them that are getting exiled. All right, next we have Desolation Twin. Where are you at? There you are. Desolation Twin is that's not from the set I have you from. You are from Battle for Zendikar, and whenever I cast it, put a 10/10 colorless Eldrazi creature token onto the battlefield. Again, Harmonicon, Stronic Resonator. I've had it trigger multiple times. I think it's only when I cast it. So it's not a legendary, so I can have 4 of these basically on the battlefield at any one time. So he gets a twin. I know there's a card at Helm of the Host would actually be good to put on this. Well, maybe not, because you're not casting it. I digress. I'm overthinking it, like I usually do. But, yeah, it triggers that ability again. So you could eventually end up with a fuck ton of Desolation Twins, basically. If you have one of those out, you end up with 3 Desolation Twins instead of just 2, which, excuse me, is annoying enough. All right, next we have a Breaker of Armies, which I have 2 of. I think I have 2 of everything in here, in all honesty. All right. Oops, that's not how you spell it. Where are you at? There you are, and you're from the right set. So, Breaker of Armies here. All creatures able to block Breaker of Armies do so. And that's fantastic. You can swing out, even if you don't have the big creatures that you need. You swing out, and Artisan of Kozilek's going to trigger. They're going to have to sacrifice 2 permanents. And let's say you have 3 Desolation Twins out. You swing out with everything. They have to block Breaker of Armies, which means 30 damage is going to get through. And on top of it, they have to sacrifice permanents. They're not going to survive that. They are going to get ran over by a bunch of tentacle monsters. Okay, next we have... There we go. I thought I had 2 of these. Kozilek's Channeler. I feel like we are a lot further in than we actually are. You think it would have... There it is. I'm blind. I am blind. I'm sick. Give me a pass, all right? Tap, add 2 mana to your mana pool. Again, mana ramp helps you get some stuff out. Who doesn't like that? I do want to make an Eldrazi deck that's basically just green Eldrazi that create tokens and stuff like this just to ramp into that Eldrazi I was talking about and then play all the legendary ones and just be a dick. Basically. That's basically it. Okay. Next, we have Endless One, which I have 2 of. Do I have? I think I have a 3 of something, don't I? Yep, I do. Okay. Okay, yep. Endless One is basically in here just because it costs X mana. So, like, if it's turn 3 and everybody has something out and you don't, then you could just tap 3 mana and play Endless One and get a 3/3. And I mean, I don't know how it would work. I think if you got it back with Artisan of Kozilek, you could get it back. It's going to be a 0/0. But it's a chump blocker at that point, I guess. So there's that. Okay, and next is Endbringer, which I have 3 of. I do enjoy this card. This is another card that I really like. Probably very, very close to Oblivion Sewer. This one, Ulamog, and Oblivion Sewer are probably like they're my top 3 ones. I really enjoy them. Okay, it untaps during each other player's untap step. So if you're playing multiplayer, it's going to untap. So you can do it at the end of their turn, the beginning of their turn, beginning of the next player's turn, it's going to untap. And usually what I do is just ping for damage. I'm going to focus somebody down. So if we're playing 4 players, at the end of my turn, I will tap to do 1 damage. And then at the end of the next player, tap to do 1 damage. And then by the time it comes around, if I'm focusing on one person, it's dealing 4 damage. And that's annoying. Plus it does other stuff too. 1 waste and tap. Target creature can't attack or block this turn, which is really nice if you have the mana available. Especially with Labyrinth of Scofos. It works to get rid of 2 big threats. So like if you use most of your mana with Labyrinth of Scofos to remove a threat and you have Endbringer out and you only have like 2 mana available, then you can go ahead and do one of it to do that. And also it has some card draw like what is it? Seagate Wreckage for 2 mana, which I think Seagate Wreckage is 2 mana too. But it gives you that card draw in case you need it, and it basically works at instant speed. You can do it on your opponent's turn. Granted, you're not going to find any answers to anything. There's no creatures in here with flash or anything like that. But with that, we're going to move on. This video is going to be a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I don't know if you enjoy that or not. I am talking a lot slower so I don't cough. So there's that. Next is It That Betrays for a 2 of, and these are from the dual deck. If I can find it. There we go. I think I have one from World Wake. Is that World Wake? Rise of Eldrazi. I don't know why I thought that was World Wake. This has Annihilator 2. Whenever it attacks, defending player sacrifices 2 permanents. Again, with your artifacts, that could trigger multiple times. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent, put that card on the battlefield under your control. So it's basically the Eldrazi taking control of it and making it a spawn. That is nice. Not only am I making you sacrifice stuff, but I get it. Plus I have Artisan of Kozilek, another card with Annihilator. I don't know how many cards have Annihilator. I think that's a thing that they don't really do anymore. I don't think they're going to do anything else with Eldrazi, unless they do something with Emrakul at some point. But from what I understand is as soon as they made Eldrazi, they kind of regretted it. I could be wrong. You could tell me down in the comments if you know. Next we have Warden of Geometries for 2 of. It is from that set, Vigilance, and you can tap it for 1 mana. 1 waste, I guess. So, again, more mana, which is nice. We have Conduit of Ruin for 2 of. Conduit. There you go, and that is the correct set. And let's go find you. Alright, when Conduit of Ruin, when you cast, you may search your library for a colorless creature card with a converted mana cost to 7 or greater. Reveal it, shuffle your library, and put that card on top. The first creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. Again, that really helps. Chances are you're only going to cast 1 colorless spell a turn. And it's mainly creatures. So if you have Eldrazi Temple, I have Ugin out, and this, you're basically getting 6 free mana. And that is really nice, because then a lot of your cards are pretty damn cheap or free at that point. And then you might be able to cast more. But, you know, if you can get one out for 3 mana, then you might be able to cast 2. But chances are, if it's later in the game, you have 2 Eldrazi Temples and enough mana to do everything else. Next, we have Bane of Bolligen. And I think I've taken this card out, and I've put it back in, and I've taken it back out. There is other Eldrazi cards that I could put in here. When it attacks, defending player exiles 2 permanents he or she controls. It's Annihilator. It's Annihilator 2. I don't know why they just didn't put that on there, unless they just wanted to get rid of that key word. But yeah, that's what it is. It's Annihilator 2. Yeah, because whenever this creature attacks, defending player sacrifices 2 permanents. Yeah, that's all it is. Exiles, sacrifices. This is arguably worse than Annihilator 2, because this is just sacrificing them. They could get them back if they have graveyard play. This just fucking straight up exiles them. That's worse than Annihilator. What are you doing, Wizards? Okay. This card has won me. This is the reason I won a lot of games with this deck. And my friends hate it, and I love it. It's Void Winnower, and that's not what I wanted. Why did I click on that? Void Winnower. Your opponents can't cast spells with even convert a mana cost. 0 is even. So basically, tokens count as 0, so they can't even... I don't even think they can do anything with tokens. Your opponents can't block with creatures with even convert a mana cost. So yeah, 0 is even. Tokens cannot block because they cost 0 convert a mana cost, right? I believe we looked it up. I believe that is the correct terminology for it. But watching your friends look at their hand and being like, I can't cast nothing. Everything's 4 mana or 6 mana. Granted, it was the same thing too, because I had Cavern of Souls out, and my friend couldn't cast. He couldn't cast any counter spells because with Cavern of Souls, none of my spells can be countered. So like they're just holding on to their hand. They can't cast nothing. And next is probably. This is my favorite Eldrazi card. As you probably know, if you've my Steam name, if you've paid attention to that, I do love Oblivion Sewer. It's one of my favorite ones too. I can have multiple favorite ones. Screw you if you don't think of that. Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, for a 2/of. And whenever you cast Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, exile 2 target permanents. I get to choose 2 permanents. They don't have to be mine. If you have Harmonicon and Stronic Resonator, I get to do more. I've had Harmonicon out before with this card. It's also indestructible. So unless you give it -11 counters, it ain't dying. And whenever it attacks, defending player exiles the top 20 cards of his or her library. So if you have Stronic Resonator out and you attack and you use Stronic Resonator, that's 40 cards from their library that they're exiling. And if you did anything with Oblivion Sewer, let's say that's another 4. So that's 44 cards plus the 7 they drew to start the game. Chances are they're going to deck out next turn. I love Ulamog. It is my favorite card. Okay, we're going to save. There was an error saving. I don't know why. I hope it saves. Okay. We have 29 creatures, 4 artifacts, 2 instants, and 27 lands. Let's look at the details. Cavern of Souls is $81. Jesus. Eldrazi Temple. Okay, so they're $6 a piece. That's not... I think that was about what it was when I looked. I have Ugin. They are $10 a piece. I'm probably not going to go over this. I'll do like one starting hand just to look at it, but I'm not going to go into depth about it. Labyrinth of Scofos is $1 a piece. Okay, yeah, I think that was about right when I looked at it. Seagate Wreckage, yeah. Tomb of the Spirit Dragon. Oh, I think this is banned. Is that why? No, Tomb of the Spirit Dragon isn't. I thought Ivugan was. Tomb of the Spirit Dragon, that's cheaper than I thought. In wastes, that's going to be accurate with your wastes. I think they are a little more expensive. $16, so 8 a piece, 5 something a piece. Titan's Present, yeah. What is the most expensive card here? Yeah, Ulamog at almost $100. Last I checked, I thought he was 100, but it's saying TCG has one for like $50. Oh yeah, so there's 2 of them. I thought he was going for like $100, but he's still sticking around $50. I don't know why I thought he was $100, unless he's like $100 pack fresh. I don't know. I don't know. I thought he was way more expensive than that. But $350, I think that has my Angel deck beat by $100. All right, we got visual spoilers again, so there you go. And there is the starting hand. That is actually fantastic. Yeah, so boom. Add another card. That's even better. Boom. And yeah, might as well go with that. And go with that. So that's 2, 4. That's 6 mana already. Jesus Christ. Okay, there's that. Might as well play that. So, unless somebody's got Artifact Destruction, add another card. Oh, we still can't play anything, which kind of sucks. Because that's what? That's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many cards do we have? We don't... Okay, so we got enough. Okay, so there's that. Breaker of Armies. Yeah. Yeah, sure. That's not what I wanted to do. But there you go, I guess. That's my Eldrazi deck. So we'll let it go there. If you guys could please like, subscribe, share, hit that bell icon. That way you get notified every time I upload a new video. You can follow me over on Facebook and Twitter. The links to those are in the description. And with that, I'll see you guys on the next one.